Like,
it's getting better. 2 weeks I'll be able to move my arm more above my head, which is nice. About 4 more weeks I'll be able to play, so getting excited.
I know it's got to be tough for you in your senior year. I know, probably played every snap sophomore and junior year. So what's that been like for you on Fridays and, even during the week?
It's different watching, but just got to be a vocal leader for them, be out there with them.
What do you do during the week to help Sam or really the whole team and offense?
Sam helps himself. He knows everything, so it's a lot easier. Just stand there.
Do you ever get any ideas? Maybe you can be a little offensive coordinator, make a couple play calls late in games?
Oh, yeah. Way better than Christiansen. Not really.
Do you guys, just seeing the team succeed even with you, it's got to be a kind of a weird feeling. What are you feeling?
I'm just excited we're winning. I knew it was coming. Sam's good. Adam's good. Parker, Jagger, we have the team. We just solid.
Well, getting a little more playing time this year and getting to step up and be a senior and be a leader, and that's good. And just be able to lead by example and show your kids what to do when playing, and that's always nice. And learning from my fellow seniors and from coaches that are really coaching me playing, and so that's always nice.
What have you taken this year from previous years in terms of what you learned from past seniors of how to kind of handle things?
Well, just always stay focused and always pick yourself up after a bad play, or if you're having a bad game, just always stay focused and do your job. And so I've learned that from past seniors and from seniors this year, and even Sam and Parker have coached me on that too.
What's Jason going down at quarterback? You kind of knew Sam was going to be all right, but what was it like seeing your fellow senior go down there?
Well, I didn't want to see that happen, and it was sad to see that happen. And I'm just ready for him to be back and be playing, because I know it would be devastating if I went out and couldn't play my senior year. So, yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, kind of what I was saying. The tradition, the winning tradition here has been. It's been 5-6 years. Do you guys feel pressure to just live up to that, or is pressure not the right word?
I don't know if pressure. I don't know if we're pressured, but we just want to win and go out and win, and so we're going to work hard in practice and see if we can do that.
I asked you about East Mills. I know you probably know a little bit about them at this point. What do you see with that team?
Well, they're a solid team. Got athletes. They're a big team. They're fast, and they'll be a challenge. And I'm ready to see what we can do and what they can do.
What is it with Mills County this year? Nobody's losing.
Yeah, I don't know. Just solid athletes down here in Southwest Iowa.
Well, I played a little QB in my freshman year, and so I wasn't totally unexperienced, but I didn't get a lot of Coach got me a couple reps in practice when Jason was quarterback, so I was pretty prepared, I feel like.
Is it do you have a preference, or do you even care?
Wherever they need me, that's where I'll go.
Talk about, Mike Wood was our reporter. I was kind of asking him how the offense will look different. He said it probably won't pass as much, but that hasn't really been the case. You're passing just as much as Jason was. Was that a surprise to you?
Not really, because like I said, back in practice, I just got the same reps Jason did, and that included passing and option and everything.
So Wood has no clue what he's talking about.
No comment.
I guess for you now, heading into this East Mills battle, and this is always, for years was just and still is probably a heated rivalry. Can you speak to that a little?
They're always just fun to play. They always bring a certain intensity to the game that's not in every other game. It's usually a good physical game, so it should be fun.
Is hate? Is hate a good word for this, or is it a little nicer now?
It's probably a little nicer because through like track and every other sport, you get to just be friends with them. But yeah, it's a good, fun competition every year.
I remember when the Iowa Preps boards used to be lighting up, 3 or 4 years ago. Is that still going on with East Mills FM?
I don't think so. I haven't paid much attention to Iowa Preps.
Good idea. Just KMAland.com. That's it. What are some some goals or some keys for you guys in a game like this? What do you need to do in order to get a win here?
Coaches emphasize a lot just to do our jobs, and if we do our jobs, we have the athleticism to get it done. Executing plays is another big one. That's pretty much it.
I guess I'll ask you what kind of asked Jason too. Did you learn much of anything from him in terms of taking over the QB position from him after the injury?
Yeah, Jason, he's always got a positive spirit no matter what the situation. And so with him and his injury, he's still positive, and I think that's the coolest thing.
You learned a lot from Parker too in terms of haircuts. So what's going on here?
And we're just gonna let it fly, see what happens.
Guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Coach, you're 4-0 again. What do you like most about this team?
Well, I like the fact that you had to say again, so that's always nice. About this team, they're very athletic. They're actually fun to be around. They do a great job of staying on task. The pace of practice is exciting. Typically we used to run until 5:45, 6 o'clock, but we do a very good job of getting out of here by about 5:30. And they understand that as long as we get done what we need to have done, that we can get out, and they have other stuff to do. And they've done a great job, obviously, during the game. We heard a lot about, we're not as big as everyone else, but the level of physicality these guys still bring is unmatched.
What's different? I mean, obviously, you're not, like you said, not as big, but how do you keep that physicality without the bigness? Well,
I think that we talk about it a lot, at least from my standpoint. I feel like we talk about being physical at the point of contact, getting vertical with the football. We feel like that if we can do that with the athleticism that we have, we can turn small plays into big plays. We talk a lot about if you're on the sideline, you are not stepping out. You are going to continue on the trail to the end zone. So we hope that has caused them to have that belief, and obviously over the course of a number of years, it's been beneficial.
Talk about a few of your players. Jason goes out with the injury. Was there any panic at all in terms of losing your quarterback, guy that started 2 years?
Yeah, it's obviously not very good for Jason. Really feel bad for him, but it is nice to be able to have a guy that could step in and kind of take off from that point. Obviously, the plays have not been any different. We were able to call the same stuff. We experienced it from the other side in the state championship game where Newell Fonda's starting quarterback came out and they brought in a guy that did a great job. And so it's nice to be able to do that and obviously be prepared for that.
Sam maybe brings an extra element to it as well.
Yeah, obviously you take anyone from a running back to a quarterback, obviously it's a little bit more downhill. But I think that when you put everything together, we feel like we have the same ability to do what we wanted to. And obviously going through, we're starting to learn things about some different situations and keep moving forward. Parker
Powers, in terms of touching the ball, and it seems like every time he touches it, he does it in a lot of different ways too. What is it about him?
Yeah, he's very explosive. In the weight room, he's explosive when it comes to box jumps. Look at high jump, the 110 high hurdles. We feel very confident if he gets the ball in open space that in a one-on-one situation, he will win that battle every time. And so we want to continue that. Obviously, now he's playing a little bit more tailback than wide receiver, and so we're hoping that translates into a multitude of other things.
What's it like for you with a guy like that and just trying to, you just got to stay up at night trying to think of ways to get him the ball?
Yeah, it is nice to be able to try to figure out how to get him the ball in space. Like we're talking today, anywhere he goes, certain defenses are going to shift to it. So we feel pretty confident that once we see what happens, that we can get other guys in space also and make some things happen.
You got a lot of other guys, too, that are doing things offensively for you. Can you talk about those guys?
Yeah, obviously you look at our receiving core. You've got Lane Goodman, Nate Hardesty, Carter Jennings, Adam Todd, Bo Malcolm. They're all doing a great job, and when the ball does go their way, they're taking advantage of those opportunities. Obviously, looking at stats, Parker's got more reception. I don't know exactly how many it is, but I know that by the defense is shading toward him, they're going to have to take advantage of the opportunities, and so far they've done a great job. Like Adam Todd, he's got 1 catch for 53 yards and a touchdown. So things like that I think are going to happen more often than not.
Defensively, that's been an unbelievable. Sydney goes for negative yards, and they've got some game breakers on their roster, and then no points for Nishnabot either. What's working besides everything there?
Well, I think obviously from a defensive standpoint, we're clicking pretty good right now. We've tweaked our defense. We ran the defense we are now last year a little bit. Didn't quite have it down to the level we do right now. Very gap-sound defense, and our guys are very aggressive at the point of contact. It's all based off of angles. If it's clear, take it. If it's cloudy, not. And so I think our guys really have bought into that, and they're aggressive. And like I said, any chance they get for a run-through, they're taking advantage of that.
Where did that come from? Who gets the credit for it?
Obviously, our defense coordinator, Kyle Fichter, has done a great job with that. And then other kids. Obviously, they've bought into it, and it's worked extremely well.
We talked about the skill guys, and we got to talk about the line too, because nothing happens without them. Who are these new guys leading the way?
Exactly. On the offensive line, you've got Blake Hurley and Colton Dotson at guard. You've got Dane Meese at center. And then obviously a multitude of tight ends that we've discussed. On the defensive line, you've got Lane Goodman, Nate Hardesty at end, and then Blake Hurley, Hunter Rasmussen, and Logan Gaylord are playing that inside A-gap position for us, doing a great job.
Has that surprised you at all, those guys? Have any of them popped up and really surprised?
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise up to this point has probably got to be Blake Hurley as a sophomore. He does a great job from both sides of the ball. He does a great job down blocking and pulling for us. And then from a defensive standpoint, he's the biggest kid we have in just sheer weight. And so he's doing a very good job of taking care of the A-gap for us and allowing the other guys to run around.
East Mills, love the rivalry between you two over the years. The one year you're probably maybe the top two teams in the state. What are you seeing? This is a totally different team, obviously. Why are they successful right now?
Obviously their coaching staff does a great job of getting them in position, taking what they are good at and doing it very well. Anytime you look at a football team that has Kevin Schaefer calling plays, you got to think screen, screen, screen. He does a great job of drawing that up and getting them in space. And so we've got to do a good job of getting to our backs on it from a defensive side. In terms of just the overall situation, their defense, they're fast, they're physical. So we got to try to make them move around, give us some space to run some routes, and then take advantage of it when we can.
Josh Hopkins does a lot for them on both sides of the ball. What does he do the best, do you think?
He's physical. I think that's the best thing he does. He's got a motor that runs constantly. We just watched their film when they played Nishnabotna, and he was constantly all over the place. From that middle linebacker position, if you don't block him, the play is going nowhere. And then they've obviously got 7 other guys that do a very good job, but it all starts with 27 in our opinion. So we got to try to get a hat on him and get vertical any chance we can.
I know Coach Lang, and talking with him last week, really happy with that D-line too, and I think the Drake kid dominated the second half against Stanton. D-line's maybe a surprise right now.
Yeah, everyone knew they were going to be big and physical up front, so I think the D-line we kind of thought would be pretty good from our standpoint. And so, yeah, we've got to try to neutralize their defensive line and obviously get a hat on Hopkins, and hopefully we've got a chance.
Offensively, they seem to keep it balanced too, so it's tough, but how do you go about trying to slow them down?
Yeah, obviously we just got to play fundamental football, contain the football, let them, when they do throw, if they go deep, try to knock it down, make a play on the football in the air. Probably going to give up some shorter routes to not allow the big play, we hope so anyway. And then from a standpoint to stop their run, we just got to be gap sound and be sure tacklers, eyes through the thighs, and then hopefully, put them in position to make some mistakes where we hopefully will take advantage of it.
Expect to see an atmosphere like 2000 whatever it was, 11?
Yeah, we hope so. It's their homecoming, so obviously that's going to add some people to the stands, and so hopefully it's a pretty good game for everyone to watch, and we hopefully have some fun.
I think I got to go. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.